Hi everybody, my name is Erica Kuntz, and this morning we're here at the Smithsonian Environmental Research Center. And before I begin this video, I want to say that I'm not wearing my mask because we're out here in the middle of the marsh and my videographer is at a distance of more than 6 feet away, so we're observing safe COVID-19 protocols. So in this video, what I'm going to teach you is how to install a sipper, how to flush the sipper line, successfully take your methane sample and your 3 miscellaneous samples for Porewater, as well as what you actually will get in the kits that we send you. Okay, what is actually in your Porewater sampling bucket? Well, some of the most important tools in the bucket are a driveway stake, your Porewater sipper, a extras bag, so in case you mess up, we have extras of everything, including filters, labels, needles, scintillation vials. We also have a sharps container, so you can put your sheathed needles that are used and your used filters safely in here. And a bag, 1 of 3, that says subsite 1. You'll have 2 others. The second one will say subsite 2 and the third one will say subsite 3. And within the larger bag is a 30 milliliter syringe with a stopcock attached. 4 smaller bags that say plot 1A, plot 1B, plot 2A, and plot 2B. These individual bags have everything you need to take your sample from each sipper. What's in the bag is our 3 scintillation vials. They will come with labels already on them. What you're responsible for with these is putting the date on the vials. You'll see that one of the vials actually has bright yellow text that says it contains zinc acetate and sodium hydroxide buffer. And in that specific vial, you'll see a tiny little bit of liquid. That is the buffer itself. We'll give you plenty of extras of these. So that's 1 scintillation vial. And you'll have 2 more that actually have no liquid in them and are pre-labeled for your miscellaneous Porewater samples. You'll have 3 20 milliliter syringes for taking your samples that are all labeled subsite 1 plot 1A or subsite 1 plot 1B, 2A, 2B, etc. A glass excitator for your methane gas sample that is also pre-labeled. Needles and a few filters. So that's what's in this bag and the individual bags. Here's a up-close shot of what the sipper actually looks like. So here is the full length of it, going from the single way stopcock, which is currently in the closed position, and you know that because the knob is perpendicular to the opening. To open it, you would just turn it to parallel. The sipper itself is composed of 3 components, with the first being the single way stopcock, the black tubing, and then the white Teflon tubing, which actually has a bunch of little holes to allow the Porewater to enter the well. The orientation of the sipper in the ground is like so. So all of the white part should go into your marsh area down to the beginning of the black tape here. So actually this section right here is what sticks up above the ground, as well as the whole length of the tubing. Here's a close-up view of how to install your sipper. So you'll take your driveway stake, insert it into your chosen aspect or chosen location in the marsh, and then just slowly push it down. And then, this is an important part, you wiggle the driveway stake back and forth, and then slowly pull it up. Take your sipper with the white part down, find the hole that you just made with your driveway stake, and then slowly push the sipper all the way down so that the black tape is in line with the surface. And with the stopcock on the 30 milliliter and the 20 milliliter syringes, so it's a 3-way stopcock currently, and the way that it works is that the lettering for off, it faces the side of the stopcock that won't allow water passage. So right now, with the stopcock facing perpendicular to this top opening and then the entrance into the syringe, that means that no water will come out through this side port. If you turn it 90 degrees and have the off face the syringe where the sample would be, that means that no water can exit the syringe if you're pushing down on the plunter. And if you don't want water to come out of this top part, you would again turn the stopcock with the off lettering facing the top here. This means that water will actually come out of the side port instead. So that is how three-way stopcock works on each of the 30 and 20 milliliter syringes that you will get. From your bucket, take your 30 milliliter syringe, make sure the stopcock is open, and flush your well. So you'll notice with the sipper well, the stopcock on the sipper itself is in the perpendicular position. That means it's closed. To open it, twist it so it's parallel. So now water from the Porewater, or from the marsh, can come cleanly out. Attach your 30 milliliter syringe, so just gently put it in there, and slowly pull to start to create some suction. And if this is done well, you should start to see some sample coming out. There's a good chance that it will be really dark. So once you've pulled just about to 30, close the stopcock on the sipper well, remove the 30 milliliter syringe, put your finger, or close the stopcock on the 30 milliliter syringe, pull so it's fully open, and just shake. This is a good rinse of this syringe prior to taking your methane sample. And then reopen the syringe and eject this sample far away from your plot, so out of the frame. So I'm going to do one more rinse here in hopes of getting a slightly clearer sample, but the minimum amount of water that you want to try to rinse the line with is about 20 to 30 milliliters. It's okay if you do a little bit more, it's okay if it's a little bit less. So reopen your sipper well and then slowly pull, and actually the water is a bit clearer on this sample, which is good. So I'm only going to pull to between 10 and 11 or 10 and 15 milliliters. Reclose the stopcock and then just eject. So now that we've flushed the well, we're ready to take our methane gas sample. So what you'll need for that is also the 30 milliliter syringe. You'll need from your Plot 1A bag, your glass excitanor, a filter, and a needle, which is in its protective little sheath right now. And you will also need your sharps container, which I have put behind me, right here. So now we're going to take our methane gas sample. So what you want to do is take your 30 milliliter syringe, attach it, reattach it to the sipper well, open the sipper well, and then slowly pull. This is very important that you go slow for this because you don't want to necessarily introduce a lot of extra air into this part of the sample. And slowly pull more sample than what you'll need. So I would shoot for around 15 or 20 milliliters of Porewater in this straw, as you'll eject some excess. So I'm going to go to 20. I'm going to close the sipper well, close the stopcock on the 30 milliliter. Take a look at your sample. Do you have enough in there? I definitely have enough. I'm going to open this and I'm going to squirt out to 12 milliliters of sample in here. So I'm going to just squirt it like this. So squirt the excess air out first, because what you want is only 12 milliliters of sample in here. So my 12 milliliter mark is right about there. Then close it. Alright, so you have your 12 milliliters of sample. You can double check, you can flick it a little bit, make sure that it's all sample and no air. And once you're confident of that, reopen the stopcock and then introduce 12 milliliters of atmosphere. So you'll pull the the stopcock down, and we'll purposely put air in here to 24 milliliters, which is right there. Close it. And now we will equilibrate the sample by shaking it for 2 minutes. So I have a watch here. I'm going to start my timer for 2 minutes. Make sure that it's closed. I'll put my finger on the top of the stopcock to be safe and start shaking. 2 minutes later. Okay, so I've stopped my watch. It's been 2 minutes. All right, so now we want only the air that's left in this syringe. So what to do is we'll turn it upside down. The stopcock is still closed. Now we will carefully open the stopcock, and you'll see some of the water start to drip out. That's a good sign. Some of the water just comes out a little bit. We want to gently plunge the syringe down to get rid of all of the water. So you'll have to go pretty far, and this is possibly the hardest part of this whole process. Just going slow and making sure you don't accidentally eject the air that's inside the syringe. So you'll remove most of the water until the drip starts to go really slow, and then close the stopcock. So you can flick the syringe a little bit, and you can see that we pretty much only have air inside the syringe. All right, so close-up shot of the orientation of the 30 milliliter syringe with your 12 milliliters of air sample, your glass excitainer, and your single-use needle, plus your filter. So the way that this will go is, what you'll want to do is attach your filter with the words facing the sample. You'll just pop it on there, and then take your single-use needle, put that on there like that, gently uncap it, and then take your excitainer and then just puncture it. Then what you do is change the orientation so that it's vertical, and then from here you will open the stopcock. You'll turn it 90 degrees. You will hold on to your excitainer here, and then slowly depress the plunger, pushing the sample into the glass excitainer. And once you get to this point, count 1, 2, 3, and then slowly remove the needle from the excitainer. And then immediately take your cap and put it on the needle. Now that you've completed your methane gas sampling, go ahead and stick your completed sample back into your Plot 1A bag. And we'll move on to the miscellaneous Porewater sampling. So what you'll need is the 3 20 milliliter syringes and your 3 simulation vials. One of them has yellow text on here that says contains zinc acetate and sodium hydroxide buffer. So in that one vial, you'll see that there's about 5 drops of liquid in the bottom. It's completely safe. Don't drink it or try to spill it. In the case that you spill it or lose that vial, we'll send you extras with this stabilizer in there. So that is actually the first one that you're going to want to fill. And we'll take one of the 20 milliliter syringes, it doesn't matter which one, connect it to your sipper, open the sipper stopcock, and then slowly pull for some sample. And fill this one all the way up to 20 if you can get that much water. We'll use the rest of that sample to fill one of our other 2 simulation vials. So I actually am getting plenty of water here. So I'll close the stopcock once I have enough in there. I have a bit more than 20. Flick it so some of the air bubbles come out, and then I'll just squeeze out the extra water, or the extra air, so it's just water in there. And I'm actually reading just about 19 milliliters. So in order to make this accurate, I'm going to filter from 19 to 9 milliliters to get 10 milliliters into this vial. So what we'll do is use one of your syringe filters, connect it, go ahead and open the stopcock, open the vial that has the yellow text on it, and then filter exactly 10 milliliters into this vial. And if your sample is really, really gross and dark, you might not be able to get 10 on the first try. You might need to use multiple syringe filters, which this one is getting a bit difficult, but I will just make it. Alright, so once you have exactly 10 in there, go ahead and cap it and set it aside. So I have some extra sample in there, but this filter is getting kind of gross and it's hard to push water through it, so you know at that point that you need to use a new filter. So go ahead and discard this one and take a new one. Taking one of your two remaining samples or scintillation vials, you'll filter the rest of the sample in here. And how much water do you put in here? Well, you try to fill it up all the way to the neck. But if you're running low on Porewater or it's hard to get more sample out of there, just put as much in here as you can. Go ahead and do that. Alright, so this is about a third of the way full, which means we need some more water and more filters. So we'll go ahead and take another one of your syringes, open the stopcock, and pull some more sample out. The sample actually looks really good. Alright, and I'll tell you right now that we probably need to get a bit more to fill that remaining scintillation vial. So take your last remaining 20 milliliter syringe, open the stopcock on the zipper well, make sure that stopcock on the syringe is open too, and go ahead and pull some more sample. I'm just filling them all the way. Alright, so now we're done taking sample, and I'm going to get some more filters from our extras bag. Alright, here's our bag of extras. Take out a few more filters. And we'll send you with plenty. Alright, got some more filters. We'll take one of the two syringes that we just filled. Go ahead and attach the filter with the words facing the sample. And filter some more into the scintillation vial until we fill it almost all the way up to the top. And that's approximately 22 milliliters. Just what you'll write on the data sheet. So there we got our second complete vial there. This filter is getting difficult to push water through. Let's go ahead and put a different one on and take your last scintillation vial. Push more sample through it. That syringe. Go ahead and take your last syringe. You can use the same filter if water was going through it very easy. And just keep going until you filled it all the way up to the neck. Oops, that's actually getting a bit difficult. So go ahead and take a new filter. On there, and that should be the last one that we need in order to get enough sample into this last scintillation vial. And once again, if you can't fill it all the way up to the top, that's okay. This is the best case scenario to get two pretty much full scintillation vials, and then your first one that has 10 milliliters of sample plus the buffer solution. Yeah, so once you have all of these, go ahead and stick them back in your sample baggie. You'll take them out later and stick them in a freezer to preserve them. All right, and while all of this is going on, the second person that's out there with you will be recording various information about the samples that you've taken today and or whenever you go out. So that will be things like what site you're at, so what the name of your NERR, the date, who was out there with you, so the names of the personnel, the time that you took the sample down to the minute, because we'll match it up potentially with tide data later, and as precise of an estimation as possible for the amount of volume of water that you were able to get into your 3 scintillation vials. This is especially important for sulfate. If you weren't able to get 10 milliliters of filtered sample in there, tell us how much you were able to get into there. If it was only 5, please write it on the data sheet. We'll be able to work with that. Now that you've completed all of your sample collection, it's time to remove the sipper. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you have all the tubing together and the stopcock is still on it. And you'll just want to take the top of the sipper tubing and then slowly just pull up. And it should come out fairly easy. Since you're going to reuse this between sites, what you'll want to do is try to make sure that most of the holes are pretty clear. What you can do is just tap it against your hand or potentially against your knee or some other hard surface, but not too hard, because it is possible to break these. We will send you with some extras. But yeah, so just make sure that you've completely removed all of your installed equipment and carry on into your next site. Thank you so much in advance for being willing to go out into your respective marsh environments to get this remote sampling done for us. We're hugely appreciative, and we're sure that you'll do a fabulous job.